All right, so here it is. Today's date, the topic is going to be translations. There's going to be 3 things that we're going to learn from transformations. The first one I'm going to teach you today is about translations, which is moving the object. The second thing is going to be rotations, which is obviously rotating something so it changes position. And the last one is going to be reflecting something, like how we reflect ourselves in the mirror every time we see each other there. So that's that. So we're going to start with a little bit of vocabulary. First, we're going to define translations, and I'm going to show you a little picture. So as I write down, you should also be doing the same. And then I'm going to allow you guys to have extra time because not all of you are going to be on the same pace as me. So just follow along and then I will explain. Okay, so as you write, I'm going to explain a little bit. So here, a translation basically means that it moves the figure from one position to another. So from here, this is going to be my pre-image. That is the original image before moving it somewhere else. After you move it, you get what is called your image. Okay? Your original image is going to have regular points such as x, y, but then your after image is going to have the points x plus h, y plus k. Obviously right now that doesn't make sense, but I will explain shortly. So go ahead and copy this down and then I'll continue to the next thing. Let me know once you're done on the chat so that I can move on. I need to have at least 10 people done before I can say it's safe to go to the next thing. Okay, so 5 people so far. Okay, I'm a little more confident that I can move on. So explaining this, these are your original coordinate points. And then in order for the image to be moving from one side to another in a different position, you're going to have to either add or subtract points to the x value and also to the y value. So that's what this stands for, x plus h, meaning that the h represents the horizontal shift, or how many units you're going to be moving your image left or right. And the y is going to be how many units you're going to move vertically, which is up and down. So copy down the rest of the things here, and then we're going to get into the first example for today's lesson. I just messed up already. Vertical. So example number 1, we're going to go ahead and look at example 1 on the PowerPoint. To go ahead and start copying down the graph. Make sure that each side it has 5 units, so 5 to the left, 5 to the right, up and down, also 5, because that's how high and how low and how wide your graph is. So this is what I'm saying, 5 to here, 5 to here, 5 to here, and then 5 down here, okay? And they gave you that you have an image, GTB, with coordinates that are located at -3, -1. T is at -1, -1, and B is at -3, -5. It's telling you that your image is going to transform by moving 5 units and 1 unit up or down. Okay? Plot the points just like how it is on your PowerPoint and label them. I'll give you some time to get caught up with the graph so that then we can interpret how we're going to look at the rule to help us graph our new image. Again, tell me when you're done on the chat so that I know to move forward. Okay, one person is done. Okay. Anyone else done? Okay, so I saw a couple that said that you're done. So what you're going to do is you are going to look at the rule. The rule right now is your focus because that's going to help you find the new points for GTB prime, which is the image after you have done the pre-image. So these again are your pre-image points. These are the pre-image points, okay, right here. And then to the X value and to the Y value, you have to apply the following rule. The first way to do it is by simply looking at the rule and saying, well, how many units am I going to go to the left and to the right? And how many units am I going to go how many units am I going to go up or down? So the first one, remember, X comes first. So because this is a positive number right here, do you think I'm moving to the left or to the right? Exactly, you're going to go to the right 5 units. Okay, so 5 units. And then the same thing on the y-axis. Is it a positive or a negative? Well, it's a positive. Therefore, which direction am I going to go? It's saying up or down. Up 1 unit, right? Okay, thank you. There you go. So that's all you're going to do. This tells you how many units you're going to go. Now you go back to any of the points and you pick 1 point. I'm going to go in order and I'm going to say, okay, GTV. And I'm going to write down my new points for G prime. Remember, the prime means this is your after image. Okay, so I'm going to say G prime, T prime, and also B prime. That's my new image, okay? Or my image just itself. So pre-image, image. So from here, I'm going to pick any points, and like I said, I'm going to go in order. So I'm going to go to G, and just apply what it says here. 5 units to the right, 1 unit up. So I'm going to go, okay, from my starting point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then from here, 1 up. That's your new point for G prime. Okay? Now, where did G prime land on? What's my new point for that one? We did move on the x-axis, so it can't be 0, right? Remember, x comes before the y? It would be 2, 0. If you said 0 to, the point would be right here, like 0 because you're not moving on the x direction, and 2 for going up, okay? Let's go to T. T, same rule, 5 units to the right, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 up. There is my new point for T prime, and I'm going to label it. Now, can somebody tell me what is my new point for T prime? Thank you. And then B prime, the same thing. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1. There is B prime. Now, what's my new coordinate here? Positive 2, negative 4. That is correct. Thank you so much. So that's one method. See how we went from the points to using our pen or pencil to move the directions and then naming the points? We can also do it backwards, doing the points, finding the points first, and then graphing it over here. How can I do that? Very simple. So here, just listen. You don't have to write anything down because it's already done. But let's say I wanted to do the points first, find the points first, and then graph it. I would take my original points and see how this is your x value and this is your y value, right? What would you do? You plug in those values for the x and this value for the y. Do you see that? So see how x here is negative 3. Well, what's negative 3 plus 5? Isn't that a 2? Negative 3 plus 5 gives you a 2. And isn't it also true that if I plug in the negative 1 for y, negative 1 plus the 1 cancel out and you're left with the 0? Can you guys all see the difference between them? There's two ways to do it. Whichever one is easiest for you, go for it. So then I would find out all of them. Obviously, this one is going to be negative 1 plus 5. That's a 4. Negative 1 plus 1 cancels out. And b prime negative 3 plus a 5 gives you a 2. And negative 5 plus a 1 gives you a negative 4. Then I would take these points and then graph it. So whichever way you want to do it, perfect. I personally like to move my pen on the graph and just do it there. Okay? Personally, it helps, well, if you prefer that option, it also helps you with if you forgot how to add or subtract negative numbers, because some people still to this day say that, let's say this one, negative 3 plus a 5, they will give me a negative 2 as an answer, or a positive 8, and that's not how it is, okay? So I'm going to flip it over to the second question. Go ahead and start writing down the second example on here. So example 2 here. And each time I'm going to set up my stuff a little different, just because, again, they're my notes. So hopefully you guys get in the hang of like, okay, she's doing it this way, but I could change the order but still have the same result. So example 2, you have triangle JAI with coordinates. You're like super late to your class. Bring me your laptop, please. See what I mean? I forget that my child has like 10 minutes break and then she has to go in. It's terrible. I feel bad for her. Oops. So just continuing writing. I'm trying to get my daughter into this thing again. Bridget, don't close your notebook thingy, because then what it does, it takes you out of the class, and then I have to put in the code again, and that's not cool. Okay?
Okay. So once it turns off by itself, like it's still on, it still is not like making you to do the password again?
Yeah. At least this time I didn't have to do it, but
Hi, Bridget, what's up?
hi, I'm teaching as well, so it's very hard for me to keep track of her going back and forth. But I think she's supposed to be in art, Bryn? PE?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then I will.
Every day at 110 to 150, she'll be in a special class.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave you and then go to them.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
What did she say you were in? PE?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, where's the PE? Totally wrong. I went like totally out of the thing. Ay, ay, ay. So hopefully you're already here where you graphed the normal triangle, the original triangle. And so based off on the rules, look at my screen now if you're writing. Based off on this rule, on the x-axis, where am I going to go? Am I going to go left or right, and how many units? You can write it on the chat as well if you don't want to talk to me. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, so we're looking at the rule right now. On the x-axis, where am I going to go? So am I going to... Okay, so write 4. And then on the y-axis? Down or up? Thank you so much. Down 4, yes. So again, because I like counting on the graph, I'm just going to write down here my new points, J prime. You always have to give me the new points, guys. J, A prime, and then I prime right here. So I'm going to grab again one of the points, whichever one, and I'm going to go right 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So look at my crooked graph and tell me, where is A prime? What's the point of A prime now? The new point of A prime. No one yet? I don't see a response in the chat, or nobody's talking to me. So where did it land? Where's the new point now? Tell me the coordinate point. Three. So down 3, but so it would be -1, -3, right? Remember from yesterday's lesson? Okay, -1, -3. And then for J prime, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where did J prime land on, guys? 3,0. I'm confused because it's not 3,0. I think that's for I, isn't it? No, that's not for I. So J. Okay, so J. Here we're going to the left. Remember, always go on the X first and then Y. So what would be my coordinate form for J prime? It's a negative, so what is it? Negative what? So again, this is -1. Thank you. -1 and then up 1. So -1 comma 1, right? Thank you, Ashley, for confirming that. And then I, again, from the I need to go right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could have also used the coordinates right here. What's -1 plus a 4? What's -1 plus a 4, guys? +3. Okay, and what is 2 minus 4? I'm using the coordinate here. What is it? -2. Did that match what I have now if I did it on the graph? Well, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, yeah. So that means both ways, no matter which way you do it, it's still gonna be correct. I'm gonna shade this one so that you guys see that this is my after image. How do you know what's your after image? It has a prime on there as well. So please, please, please don't forget to put the prime, because if you just leave it with just regular letters, you're not going to know, and I'm not going to know which one is which. I'm not going to know which one is the pre-image and which one is the image. Okay, so don't forget about that. Now go ahead and go and finish this one if you are not done yet. And go to example 3 and start on that one on your own, please. Go to 3. In the meantime, if you have questions, ask me now before I move on to the next thing. We can hear you. I believe so. Okay, no. You're having class every day. Tomorrow is going to be open house, by the way. I'm going to post an announcement on that. It's open house. There's given times based off on your period in which I'm going to be available. And it's encouraged that you log in with your parent present in case they have any questions regarding my class or just school, whatever that may be. So guys, you should be working on your own on example 3, okay? That's why I ask if you're not understanding something to please tell me and be respectful about it as well. So there's the original image. Now it is your turn to use the rule and give me the new points as well as the new graph. Once you have an answer to this question, guys, let me know in the chat, please, so that I can review it with you guys. Juan, ¿es porque no me entiendes el inglés o simplemente prefieres escribir español? Sí entiendes inglés, pero no entiendes lo que está pasando. Okay, can you pay attention? I'm going to say it one more time, and hopefully you understand what I'm saying, okay? So, you have this example on the PowerPoint. All I did was copy down that example onto my notes, right? The original points are J, M, X, E. These are the points. What did I do? I created my graph. Obviously, this is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2, and so forth down. I'm not labeling it as 1, 2, 3 because you guys have, or you should have, a grid paper. If you don't have a grid paper, then you're using a ruler and spacing out equal distances to place your values down, okay? So all I did, again, is just the PowerPoint picture that you saw. All I did is I copied it into my notes and graphed them. So negative 2, negative 3, that means from the origin, I'm going to go 2 units to the left because it's a negative, and 3 units down because it's also a negative, and I'm going to label it as J. The same thing with M, positive 1, negative 2, label it as M. That's what I did here. What I'm asking you guys is to use the rule from the original points, which are these points right here, and look at the rule, which is going to tell you, are you going to move left or right, and are you going to go up or down? If it's a positive number, it means you're going to the right on the x-axis, because remember the x-axis is the one that goes horizontal. If you're going left, obviously this number would be a negative, but it's a positive, so that's why we're going right too. On here, y plus 3, it's a positive 3. On the vertical axis, which is your y-axis, which is why there's a y there, it's telling you to go up 3. So how are you going to use this? This is going to be useful for when picking any point from here and trying to move it to another location based off on this rule. So let's say I want to move M. So I go to my original point of M, and I'm going to do what the rule says, which says move 2 units to the right. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and go up 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Where you land, you're going to place it as M prime. Why is it M prime? Because this is your new point, and I have to be able to determine or see which one is my original and which one is my after image. Just like how I moved point M, I'm going to do the same thing for every other point. So let's say I want to move x. Again, same rule. I'm going to go from the x, I'm going to go 1, 2, and then up 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to say x prime. Same thing for j. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here is, which one was that one? 1, 2. So this one is j prime. And last one, e, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here is my e prime. So for everybody else that finished this, here is my final product. And again, I'm going to like shade it in so that I know. It's just good practice to do this. There's my final product. The last thing, it's already graphed, but I don't have the points. So I'm going to go back to the graph. And I'm going to say, j is at the origin, which is 0, 0. M is at 1, negative 2. 1, negative 2. Or, which one is it? M prime? 1, negative 2? No, not that one. I'm looking at the wrong one. M prime is over here at 3, 1. If you don't want to be looking at the graph, you can also use your original points for x and y and simply plug it in. If x is 3, well then what's 3 plus 2? That gives you a 5. And it should match with your x prime on the graph. And then what's negative 3 plus 3? Positive, negative, they cancel out, so you have a 0. Negative 2 plus 2, again, 0. Negative 4 plus 3 gives you a negative 1. Or simply look at the graph and that's how you're going to find your points. 1. ¿Me entendiste mejor? Okay. So I hope that everybody got the same answers as me. And hopefully this third time that I explained it, everybody is on the same page as me. And hopefully you're not disrespectful again. I don't know who that person was, but it kind of did hurt my feelings, okay? So, because I think that I'm doing a pretty good job on explaining, and I'm asking you guys to be honest with me and tell me to slow down or to repeat myself again. So we're gonna go to example 4. This time we graphed. In example 4, if you switch your PowerPoint, I think it's question 7. But on here is your question 4. Instead of you having the graph and having to make the graph or plotting the new points, now you're going to be given both the pre-image and the after image, and it's going to be your responsibility to now find the rule. So here it's going to be finding the rule. And all I'm going to do is, on the PowerPoint, it doesn't tell you the points. So you have to be looking at it and using your finger or whatever to locate the points. I'm going to give you all of the points here, the original and the new ones. And then I need you guys to do your graph over here. So in the first one, you have a parallelogram, which is located as X, C, J, L. Okay, that is your pre-image. That is located at negative 3, 5. And then you have your prime ones. These are the points that appear on your PowerPoint. All I'm doing is giving it to you so that it's easier for you to graph it on your own graph. the rule, you're always going to do x comma y, the little arrow, and then you're going to put in the new rule. So once you're done copying this down, please let me know that you're done through the chat by saying done, so that I can move on into finding out how it is that we're going to, from the graph, tell apart the actual rule. Don't forget, guys, to tell me when you're done so I can move forward. Maybe a couple more so that I can move forward. All right, guys. So on this one, we have to always look at any point and see how many units it went left or right first, remember, because x comes before the y. And then determine how many units it went up or down. Now, do you notice something about this picture? Did it move only one way or both ways? By just looking at it. Only one way, right? It didn't move up or down or left or right. It went to the right, yeah, because remember you have to start at the original image, which is the one without the little apostrophe on the top. So if you look here, it moved right how many units? 1. So then that means x plus 1, and then comma. Did it move on the y direction? You told me no. So therefore y stays the same. There's no change in the vertical shift going up and down. So therefore it just stays as y. Questions? Are we confused? I'm assuming no. So here we went right. If we had gone left, obviously the x prime would be on the other side. That's it with this one, super simple. Let's go on with the last example for today. Example 5, which is 8 on your end. What?
I think it's time to go.
Okay. Go ahead and start writing down the other one, guys. The number 8 on your PowerPoint, I think. I'll do it shortly. Where is it? Why are you on the TV? Turn it on. This one is going to overlap a little bit, so just be mindful of how big you're writing. Okay, let me know once you're done with graphing. If you can find the rule and figure out how many units it went left or right, up and down, that would be great. But if not, I can show you again. Anyone done yet? One person? Okay. All right, guys. So all of these ones are kind of overlapping and stuff. So I'm going to find the point that is the easiest to tell. In this case, I think it's going to be S and S prime. So we're going to go from S to S prime. You always go from the original to the new one. And I'm going to draw my horizontal line and my vertical line. So that means what are the two lines that connect these two together? Do you see what I did? Remember, you always go left or right first and then up or down to connect to your point. So as you can see, we went left how many units to get to S prime? How many units did I go left? Just one. So I'm gonna go ahead and write down here on my rule and say, okay, X minus 1 because we're going to the left. And then on the Y, so we went left 1 and then what? 1 down, so it would be Y minus 1. There you go. And that's it. Simple as that. Locate one point, find the rule, and you can always verify everything else. So if I go to W, I should go 1 left, 1 down. Did it match? Yes. A to A prime, 1 left, 1 down. Yes, it matched. F is here. Left, 1 down. F prime. It matched. So that's how we know that we did it correctly.